This is the most excited I've been for a Nintendo launch in as long as I can remember. The Switch 2 takes me back to the thrill of unboxing my GameCube or the magic of the N64, which gave us classics like Smash Bros. I'm not the only one though. Xbox, SEGA, EA, and more are hungry for this new hardware, and we can all see a little drool is coming out. These companies have been ready to unload. They've been lurking, like predators in the tall grass, ready to strike. The Switch 1 held them back, but this time, they're flooding the zone with games the predecessor machine could never handle. Why is that? See, the old Switch's hardware architecture, despite being packed with a more modern chipset, was akin to a PS3 rather than a PS4 in terms of its sheer power. That's why we were able to see the Switch come firing with third-party hits like Skyrim from the 360 era, and more recently drop in the Arkham collection of games. But often, whenever companies try to squeeze in a port of a PS4 era game to Switch, it ain't so pretty. Think of the graphical performance of a game like Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch, which was considered by fans to not just be disappointing, but downright unplayable. Let me be charitable though, not all of these ports are a dumpster fire exactly. Think of Hogwarts Legacy hitting the Switch a couple years back. It was a game that underwent major surgery to run on the platform. The open world game was segmented off into portions with loading screens in order to make it a playable experience. And even if it worked, it was downright ugly compared to the PS4 and PS5 versions. There are other examples, like 2018's Kingdom Come Deliverance. With sub 30 FPS and serious slowdown in urban environments, along with blurry image quality, it was a nasty but functional way to play that impressive game compared to other hardware choices. But let me give credit to Warhorse Studios, the creator of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Some devs had the balls to attack the Switch and deliver a competent product to people with no other means to play their game. That's commendable, and shows their dedication to the vision of the game, but most have not. Activision, for example, has completely refrained from even looking at their Nintendo fans. Call of Duty has not been on a Nintendo platform since 2011, with the old Modern Warfare 3 on Wii U. To be clear, Call of Duty 8, not Call of Duty 23. They're eager to rake in the dough from a large new market by porting a more recent COD entry to Switch 2. EA, 2K, and Sony are also primed to launch an onslaught of sports releases onto Switch 2. Madden, EA Sports Football Club, EA Sports College Football, NBA 2K, and MLB The Show are examples of games they're eager to spread the field on. Xbox Game Studios, after their total capitulation and movement into a third-party publishing role, is going to want to pump out their back catalog to those fans too. Halo Master Chief Collection, Gears of War Collection, Forza, and more are almost certainly arriving on Switch 2. It is going to be a real trip to put in a cartridge version of Halo into your Nintendo hardware. But I hope you don't think Xbox is alone as the only other console manufacturer to show up in the Nintendo store. Remember last year when Sony launched their LEGO Horizon ever on Switch? You probably don't. It wasn't very good and it certainly didn't sell well. But they're going to be bending the knee to a 90-degree angle to cash in on their back catalog also. I'd be inclined to bet my left testicle that the Uncharted Collection, The Last of Us, God of War 2018, and more are going to arrive for Nintendo fans in 2025 and 2026. And why not? It doesn't damage why people got a PS5. Some games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Death Stranding 2, or a GTA 6 can't work on a Switch 2. And watch out, Sega's jumping in also. Persona 3 Reload and Metaphor ReFantazio were two Atlas games they couldn't bring to the Switch 1. Japanese audiences, who are majority Switch users, likely cannot wait to get their hands on such games. So what's going to happen? I won't belabor it further, as I think I've set the scene. There are a lot of games and industry players have laid out who want to jump Nintendo's bones. But you probably see the problem. There's so many existing games ready to make the jump to Switch 2, it's head spinning for consumers. And on top of that, I haven't mentioned the main course. Nintendo's first-party offerings yet to be announced. So how will Nintendo balance the incoming third-party tsunami of games while prioritizing its own products? First, we can think back to the Switch 1, which was rather successful at balancing this dilemma, but this is another level of hype. According to Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming, various sources have stated the Nintendo Switch 2 will launch its games in a three-phase strategy. The first phase is somewhat obvious. The launch will arrive with primarily first-party Nintendo games. A new Mario Kart game could even be a bundle-in option at launch. And there will likely be at least a couple more home run sluggers coming out in the first fiscal year that Switch 2 is on the market. Metroid Prime 4, for example, is going to be a known cross-gen title with still no release date. A second stage is rumored to arrive in October through November 2025 for third-party studios, who apparently may not even have dev kits yet, which is really interesting since despite the console leaking, they've kept this thing really locked down from access. Finally, it was said that the third phase for games will be in the holiday period, so basically, expect Q4 of this year to be flooded with games on Switch 2. Insider Gaming and Tom Henderson have been quite reputable with leaking similar stories, and this seems plausible. If we interpret the speculation accurately, Nintendo is going to give us a full unveil in April and a release in May? June? Then devs would only get a few months to start cranking out ports? I'm not sure I buy that last part fully, but we'll see what happens, I suppose. I made this video because I think this is an inflection point for Nintendo that I'm not sure most fans are aware of. The Switch 1 was a great system with so many good games ported from the past and present, but it was underpowered compared to its contemporaries, the PS4 and Xbox One, to the extent that a lot of third parties avoided shipping their games to the platform. With its astronomical success, Switch is on track to be the best-selling console ever. Things are different now. A company like Ubisoft is ready to launch like 9 Assassin's Creed games in this thing. The dam is going to burst if they aren't careful. So what third-party games do you want most on Switch 2, and how do you think it's all going to shake out? I think we'll find out on April 2nd. My hope is that they give us a pretty clear roadmap through the end of the year. If you like this video, please consider giving it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, stick around. Thanks for watching!